chemical addiction, as I had mentioned before, about say 200 years ago or even more than that, we used a lot of herbal medicines. That is what was our knowledge, and for centuries, in various parts of the world, people used various herbs, as medicine. In India, we have a system of medicine called as Ayurveda, and it has a little bit of modification, and it's called as Siddha medicine, and where loads of herbs were used. There were herbal medicines. But about 100 years ago, when the crude oil was available, uh, also what became available was lots of chemicals, which were byproduct of the petroleum industry. And all these chemicals could be converted into either cosmetics or some form of chemicals to be used for some purpose, and also medicines. So lots of chemical medicines became available, and during the World War II, also some chemicals were used as part of war. So now, when these chemicals became very much available, our market got flooded with lots of medications. It started with antibiotics, and also then many other chemicals. And our entire focus, for studying the human physiology and pathology was also very chemical oriented. We kept studying about various chemicals and molecules and its effect on our blood and various organs of our body. And so then what happened that we started using them, and it has been about 100 years that these drugs have been available in huge quantity. uh, about 70% of these drugs are actually used for animal agriculture, as billions of animals are killed for food every year. So these animals are there in the factory farms, and then they are given various antibiotics and various chemicals to fatten them up, or because of that these go into the meat that we are eating. So we are exposed to already a lot of these chemicals if we are consuming animal products. Then the second way the chemicals get into our system is via pesticides or herbicides or fertilizers that are used for agriculture, the regular agriculture. Now, of course, the organic agriculture does not use these chemicals, but because these are used in our food production, these also go into our system, and we have chemicals getting into our system. And the third way is the medical doctors prescribing these medicines. Now, there are two kinds. One is available without prescription, these are called as over the counter medicine. And the second one that are prescribed by doctors. So, for example, you have some pain and you go to doctor, and your doctor prescribes a painkiller. Now, you took it and there was an instant relief. And if you found out that this drug was available without prescription, there are very good chances that you will have some of these kept in your wallet, in your purse, in your home, in your cabinet for future use, because you have found that this was very effective. So, this is how people get addicted to painkillers. And I have met several people who had consumed painkillers without asking doctors again, forever, as if for months and for years. And then these painkillers cause tremendous acidity. There's a lining of the stomach which is inflamed, and also there are liver and kidney side effects. So, this is the problem with painkillers. People get addicted to it, and maybe they are very busy in life, they don't have time, and they take this shortcut. Let me take a painkiller. But painkiller is only painkiller. The disease worsens, and you do not cure the disease. So, this is how we have got a huge number of people across the globe addicted to painkillers. The second one is, using something for sleeping. Sleep has become an issue for loads of people, and there, what we do, give them something to calm down or sleep. And then I know so many people Earlier, I used to see elderly people taking sleeping tablets and very addicted. Sometimes they have memory problem. They don't know whether they have taken one tablet just now. After 15 minutes, they may take another one. So this is also a very hard part of it. And nowadays, I am seeing also younger people asking for sleeping tablets as they can't sleep and the mind is overactive. Then there are the drugs which are available, which are called as mood elevators. These are also used by people, and because I think in general, loads of us, go through some kind of subconscious depression, and this is where they need some mood elevators. Then go on to the next one I have in the list, available without the prescription of a doctor. So these are called as, in India, we call them as balms and some kind of camphor containing products which you apply locally also as painkiller. And I know people have got addicted to balms or camphor or the smell of it. And then they'll apply lots of it before they go to sleep. And some people are addicted to this also. Then there are cough syrups that are available over the counter without prescription, and you have to be taking in a very small quantity. But then some people have found out some euphoric effect of this, and then they end up taking even the whole bottle almost daily, and that is also part of chemical addiction. Then there are laxatives, those who are suffering from constipation. They keep trying, and they get addicted to this laxatives, and then they only can pass stools if they have taken some laxatives. So this is what has happened to our society. We have become very pharmaceutical dependent society, where our medicine cabinet has all kinds of medication, and there's a lot of self medication. Also, there are loads of vitamins because the industry continuously, tell us that you are deficient and you need this, or this is a magic potion, you should take this. So just last week I had a patient who mentioned that he spends almost an hour every day taking various kinds of medicines, and then he started giving me the list of it, and it was very long, and I felt very overwhelmed. I told him, my goodness, I mean, you don't need all these things. You're taking now all this kind of medications, or as food, and that's not the way. It's not. Can your body process all this? There may be overload, there may be interaction. This is not the way, and the health is not going to happen if you take it like this. But this has become a real problem, and people spend loads of money buying this kind of products, and someone convinces them that you need these forever, and it's going to give us health. So, and also there are painkillers like morphine type, which are given for cancer patients when they have very severe pain. Or also, I know some more people are getting addicted to such strong morphine based painkillers. Then these are available only on prescription. So there's a lot of abuse of these substances that go on. So today only I'm talking about prescription drugs and the ones which are prescribed by a doctor, or the one which are not prescribed by a doctor. Self medication is going to be very, very harmful. There's also one more. There are a lot of nutritional supplements and protein powders that are in the market, and these are generally seen as harmless, but they're not, because I have had a patient who had he was a young boy, and he was going to the gym, and he was into bodybuilding, and he was taking protein supplements very regularly, and I found out that very soon he developed high blood pressure. Now, excessive protein has influence on the kidney, and there's a possibility that he developed high blood pressure because of this supplement. So, I quite strongly recommend that pay attention, read labels, don't use these substances so casually. And if you're already dependent, then you really have an issue. Many of these people who become addicted to any of this chemical substance actually have a real issue at the emotional level. They are probably, have suffered some grief in their life. There's a childhood trauma, or there's a stress, there's a low self-esteem. All these things are already there, and they are just escaping by taking any of these drugs or chemicals. um, and then they escape and they think that they are all right. Actually, all of these are only suppressing the symptoms. They are not curing anything. They are not looking at the cause, where it happens. So let me kind of introduce a flower remedy. It is called as walnut flower. This is from the Bach flower system. We also have some Indian flowers where we use for those who want to get over their chemical addiction. Although I do have to study the patient, if they are addicted to very strong drugs, then it's better that I study and then prescribe. But if it's a simple addiction like to the prescription drugs, there will be, we have to withdraw them very slowly. And the ones which are, over the counter, we don't have to uh, take a doctor's consultation, so you should be able to help. So walnut is one of the flower remedy that is a link breaker. It once you decide that you want to get over an addiction or a habit, this flower remedy gives you the inner strength to break away from these habits. It helps you through the withdrawal symptoms during the transition time, when you have a lot of things happening to you. Your body is constantly asking for the substance because it's very used to it, and you cannot bear those withdrawal symptoms, and you want to get rid of it. You want to transcend, you want to go out of it. These are the times when you're very vulnerable, when the changes are happening in a very subtle way, very disturbing you, and you need inner strength at this time. So this is the time walnut flower remedy by itself also can help. Plus I also have a formula which is for addiction, chemical addiction, and it is a mixture of a few flowers that can help you to overcome this habit. Over the years, I have also helped many patients overcome their smoking or alcohol. Or also India, we get pan masala, which is a masala that you chew, and you feel better for a short time. Also there's a tobacco that is taken orally also. So all these kind of addictions also can be helped, but also chemical addiction. Be aware, be cautious, do not poison, do not add the more chemicals to your body while we are already exposed from the air, water, and the food that we eat. So many chemicals. This will depress our mind, and also depress our immune system, and we are inviting more diseases. So as a first step to want to become very self reliant and become healthy, you will have to help yourself through this chemical dependency. So also I'm not talking about very strong drugs like marijuana and such, because that's a separate issue by itself, and I like to handle it separately, because there the causes are much deeper. If any of you want to come live with me on Facebook, do let me know. I will definitely bring you in. Next time, you just have to request in the chat section, and I'll be able to click on and help you to bring come along live and have a chat with me. Or if you want to schedule a session live on Facebook, which of course others will see, and if you're okay that your problem gets discussed in the public, which may help more people, then do write it in the chat section, and I will schedule an appointment, and we can discuss the problem, and we'll be able to help many people. Yes, Anjana, it is the walnut flower, the walnut that we eat. The flower of that tree is used as a remedy. The walnut has a doctrine of signature, looks just like brain, and it does help our brain as well, our nervous system. And it is the same flower from that particular tree that is called as walnut flower. It has been used for more than 90 years now as a Bach flower therapy system, and it works very subtly, gently, but very beautifully. And over a period of few months, you can see that the person just overcomes the habit and gives it up very nicely without any force or any strong willpower or something. It just they have to take it properly. Each of these flower remedies are like installing a program into our own system, which was missing. So the program comes from nature, from flowers, and you install it into our own system. And then once it is installed, you don't need it anymore. That's how it doesn't cause any dependency. You never become dependent on flower remedies. You once the healing happens, it's complete, and you don't need to take it anymore. So thank you very much for listening to me. I'll be back on Monday with another very interesting topic. It is called as inner doctor.